Today's centering practice is going to be the extra cosmic Easter edition. So happy Easter. Jesus has risen. Happy Easter. The Easter Bunny came last night. Happy Easter. It is spring. It is fire horse. It is certainty. It is velocity. It is patience. So how do we do velocity and stay grounded? How do we do grief? And how do we do joy? So let me set us up for centering practice today. So when we do the centering practice, we choose what we want to work on to either heal or to manifest. And then we bring a virtue, like a soul quality, like forgiveness or gentleness or joy or radiance into the practice. Today, the invitation, so you do whatever you want, because everything in my ecosystem is always like you choose free will, right? Everything in the universe is free will. Today, my suggestion, because extra special energy with Easter and all that rising energy, today the suggestion is that we're going to work on two states of consciousness or two emotions or feelings. You could look at them either way. One, we're going to work with grief. Two, we're going to work with joy. Sometimes two sides of the same coin. Just talking to one of my beloveds last night who recently lost one of their beloveds. I'm talking about how close joy and grief are to each other. So that's what we're going to work on today. So I'll set us up with a dedication to merit. If you're just joining on all the channels, we're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Substack. We're going to be here in the practice for about 8-10 minutes. Doing like this is high velocity, deep energy work. And then I'll kind of put a bow on that. And we'll do a Q&A because I love it. I love it. We're here and it's Sunday. So throughout the practice, your breathing is natural. What does that mean, Danielle? That means you're inhaling and exhaling through your nose. Your mouth is closed. Why do we do it that way? Because that is what's best for calming the nervous system. We're here to calm the nervous system, not to jack it up. Then the intention today, and I will guide us through this, is we're going to bring some grief into our heart center. Just the concept of grief or one particular memory of grief. We're going to do the healing work. We work with some breath and some color. And then we're going to switch gears. And then we're going to work on joy. We're going to be with joy. We do our breath. We do our color. About 10 minutes. Put a bow on that. Move into Q&A. All right? Okay. So I'm so glad you're here. This is like always an honor, especially on an Easter day. Okay. So no matter where you are, if you're in motion, you know I always take you however I get you. And if you can be still, that would be great. If you happen to know what direction is east for you, then you'd be facing the east. If not, like that's cool. We've got you. Life has got us. Soul has got you. So if you want to close your eyes, always a good idea, unless you're gazing at a candle. Breathing is natural. So take 3 deep breaths with your right hand on your heart. Just a little deeper, a little fuller than typically you would do. Let your mind relax into your heart center. All your focus is going to go to your heart chakra. Breathing is natural. Okay, now you help your mind relax. You bring a really positive recollection, memory, association to mind. I always think about swimming in the ocean. You can think about the beauty of spring. Think about the person you love the most. You just think about how great it is to feel grateful no matter what. Okay, you got it? Let's take a deep breath in and really be with that. And then you become aware that your heart center is this golden quality, luminous, really radiant, iridescent golden quality, unconditional friendliness in the center of your heart. You've still got your right hand on your heart center. You can move your heart down, or you can move your hand down. Breathing's natural. All right, now you go in whatever direction you want, but my guidance today, my suggestion, my invitation is first, we're going to work with the energy of grief, then we're going to move into joy. Okay, we're going to end on a high note. So you can just see the word grief inside your heart center. You can think about one particular topic that brings up that energy of grief for you. You just recollect, you could bring the energy of grief into the center of your heart, fully aware of that golden luminous quality in your heart. Breathing's natural. And now we work with all color frequencies, full rainbow spectrum. I'll walk you through the colors. So the visual here is you're imagining that quality of light that happens if the sun were to shine through stained glass. So it's not deep, rich, saturated colors. It's very luminous. So the first color is pink. It's a fuchsia. You're keeping in mind that every color has its own healing code. And then it's that really light orange. It's like that peach frequency. By the way, that's a frequency of forgiveness. And then you're bringing in that gold all into the center of your heart. That grief topic that you've brought into your center, your heart center is basking in these colors, golden, luminous, really radiant. Then you bring in that frequency of green. It's that very minty, all these colors in the center of your heart, very lit from within, luminosity. And then you're working with that blue. It's like a sky blue, lit up by the sun. There's a shimmering quality to all of the colors. And then the final color in that full light spectrum is that indigo light, lit from within. So you let that topic of grief, you've brought in a scene, just an awareness of that feeling, just the word into the center of your heart chakra. And that grief is basking in these healing codes of the color frequencies. I'll walk you through the colors one more time. You could just be seeing the rainbow, the full light spectrum. You're very aware that you are emanating, radiating these colors in all directions. So it's coming out of the front of your heart center and out of your back, all directions. This grief you brought in is just basking. It's resting. Really key word here, resting in those color frequencies. One more time with these colors, very light pinks, very dynamic. Each color is its own, but very interactive. That peach frequency, really give it that shimmering quality. This is you doing the energy work. And then you've got those golds really lit up, buttery, iridescent color. And then minty green, very like vivacious. And then that sky blue, very pale blue. It's got that sparkly quality to it. And that luminescent, transcendental frequency of that indigo purple, light purple like lilacs. Breathing is natural. You let the grief rest in your heart, aware of how spacious your heart center is. Your heart is the scope of the sky. You can bring it all in. Now take a very deep breath here. I'm going to shift. This is like higher frequency centering practice today. And we're going to bring in the frequency of joy. This is really being in our capacity to hold it all, to embody it all, to invoke it all. Okay, so now you bring in joy. You can see it in your heart center as a word. Choose your font, your script, joy. You can see it as a symbol, as a face, as a landscape. You can feel it as a memory, as a higher desire, as something you want to manifest, the quality of joy. Joy exists as a full spectrum experience. It's a virtue, pours from the soul. It exists on all spectrums of healing, of embodiment, of color. So you bring in that color, you become aware of that light pink, fuchsia, very dynamic. All the colors are lit from within. You're vivifying, you're enlivening that joy, the center of your heart. And you're working with that really light orange color. It's really luminous. So it's like that peach shimmering frequency. Then you become aware of the golds, luminous, radiant, sparkling yellows in the center of your heart. This is really the quality of joy, of transmutation. Joy is also the color of green, that really minty, shimmering, iridescent rainbow frequencies. Joy is also the color of the sky, of light blue. It's also the color of mental clarity. Everything is alive. It's lit from within. And then finally, in the full spectrum of healing light frequencies, you bring in that iridescent, translucent purple. It's like a lavender or a lilac. Okay, then I'm going to just offer some extra encouragement for this like healing work. You are the healer. This is the energy work. You're working with light frequency. You're working in the heart. All transmutation, all change, all seeds are planted and grown within the heart center. That's it. The mind supports the heart. It begins with the heart. You're working on the heart level. That grief we brought in at the beginning, it's resting. It's transmuting. That joy you've just brought in, you're using your free will to embody, to put your attention, your consciousness on joy. What you put your attention on expands. Walk us through the colors one more time. The pinks, the peaches, the golds, the minty greens, the sky blue, that translucent indigo. Your breathing is natural. You're really aware that that joy is emanating in all those colors, all directions, forward from your heart center and from the back of your heart chakra. We often forget about what's radiating from our back, all sides. Grief and the joy, basking in this vastness, in your consciousness, really getting that extra gift of being here on this Sunday, this Easter day, this spring, extra prana, extra life force, and the beauty, the gift of being in group. Unity consciousness, gather today to use our free will to heal and to raise our vibration, to embody joy. Okay, take 3 more breaths. Just a little more intention, a little more fullness, a little more depth. This is the energy work. This is nervous system work. This is you healing. This is you manifesting. One more full breath, and I'll close the practice now with the dedication of merit. Keep your eyes closed if they're still closed. We dedicate the merits of the centering practice today, of our work together today, to the awakening of all sentient beings and the healing and purification of Mother Gaia, of Mother Earth. So be it, and so it is. What an honor. Feel that? Feel that warmth, that ache in the heart? It's energy circulating. If your eyes are closed, take a deep breath, open your eyes. Okay. And if you want to bounce, did your work this beautiful Sunday, you can bounce. If you want to hang out, we're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Substack. I'm going to do a little Q&A because I love it. I love, love, love it. And because we're all here. So any questions about anything at all, now is the time you roll them in. I get them in from all the channels. Why don't we talk about joy, since today's qualities that we worked with, soul qualities and emotions, were grief and joy. Let's talk about joy. Chaos Alchemy, always lovely to see you. See so many familiar names here. It's great. Joy is a virtue. So joy is not an emotion. Just like love is not an emotion. Love is not a feeling. Love is a state of consciousness, the highest state of consciousness. Love is the creator. It's what makes us. We are made of it, for it, because of it, by it. Okay. Joy is, you could say, an offspring of the divine mother, father, of the divine that creates everything. So all of the, you see soul, you see the divine as an orb of light, as light itself. And all of the extensions, all of the rays of light that come off of that sphere of soul, of virtue, are individual virtues. Joy is one of them. Joy is not happiness. Happiness is an emotion. Happiness comes and goes. Happiness is like the clouds in the sky. Joy is the sky. Joy is our original nature. Joy is the experience of our original nature. So when you become aware that you are love, that you are divinity, that you come from source, that you are connected to all, that we're all from the same source, the experience of that awareness is joy. And this is why most people many of us who deeply experience grief have had the revelation, the experience that just right there on the other side, holding hands with grief is joy, because grief is really the expression of gratitude, of loving, of having loved. Yeah. So joy is a bit initiatory. So you don't get to joy without having burned some ego, you could say. Yeah. For those of you just joining, this is what you need to know. So let me throw down just some details before we get into questions, because I see a question from Dr. Erin. Hey, I always love that you're here. Today and every Sunday at the same time, so 9 Pacific, that's 12 Eastern, I'm here indefinitely, and we do the centering practice. If you want to get the centering practice for free, written in audio, it will always be free for the rest of time. You go to daniellelaporte.com/bless. The centering practice is the heart of my new book, Bless and Release, which you can now get the audio, and we're starting to drop. The digital will be coming soon, but get the audio, daniellelaporte.com/bless. We're offering the book now in those 2 digital formats, and then it's going to come out soon in print. Every Sunday, centering practice. You ever want to do it without me on a Sunday, you go to daniellelaporte.com/bless. It's always there. And then after we do the centering practice, which is about 7-ish minutes, today we worked on grief and we worked on joy. And I'm always here to throw down on like physics and all the things. Hello, Ralph. I'm always so glad when you're here. Okay, question from Dr. Erin. How do I know to continue with something that has brought disappointment in the past? This is what I would do. So my kind of jujitsu move is to always work with centering practice first. So say something has created disappointment in the past. Let's say it's a relationship, it's a way of working, it's a team member, it's an investment, it's whatever it is. It's a way of thinking. It's showing up to the same thing the same way. But there might be some life there. There might be some miracle to create. How do I know? Well, I don't know. So I work with the centering practice. I bring the disappointment from the past into my heart, and I work with it with the breath and the light and the color. And I just let the disappointment relax so that the disappointment isn't too chatty and it isn't driving. Just work with the disappointment. And then you might see that behind the disappointment. So first of all, the rule of the centering practice is we're not bringing anything in to work with it on an energetic level to change it. We're working with it to accept it, to see it, to be more conscious. And then like the unintended beautiful consequence is that it usually changes. So the disappointment is arising. It's there. It needs to be seen. It needs to be loved. Just like we got to brush our teeth, just like anxiety just wants to be seen and love just wants to be built upon. So disappointment in our field, we pay attention to it with light, with the color, with the breath. We give it a minute. We give it a day. Disappointment relaxes. It's no longer in the driver's seat. And then we know what to do. And then we'll have just the mental clarity. There'll be less chattiness. And you will know if you should wait for a miracle, create a miracle. You'll know how to shift things out of disappointment, or you'll know if you should bless and release it. As in, just really let it go. I'm in a practice right now where I'm giving everything at least 24 hours. So I'm sleeping on everything, which is not my usual way. I was like such a decisive person. But there's so much fire energy right now with Fire Horse. We're in Aries. We're in spring. It's just like, if you're going to ride that horse, you got to have your feet in the stirrups and you got to know where you're going, because you will get there quickly and you want to get where wherever you're going to get there quickly. You're going to get to mistakes quickly, or you're going to get to right action quickly. So just sleep on it because you're going. Maddie, I wonder if joy is the experience. Joy is the experience and happiness is the result. Okay, so let's just rewind on this one. So joy, this is how I define joy. Joy is a soul quality. Joy is a virtue. Joy is the sister of divine love and resilience and radiance and loving kindness and forgiveness. They're all virtues. They're all soul qualities that come off of creation of the divine. My experience is that joy is what happens when I'm aware of my true nature. Also, forgiveness is what happens when I'm aware of true nature. And generosity and resilience and radiance is the experience of knowing what my true nature is, right? So whenever you tap into a virtue, whenever you tap into a soul quality, it's an awareness of your true nature. And this is core to the Buddhist teaching, that all suffering comes from identification. Identifying as the wrong thing, identifying as jilted, as the victim, as less than, as superior to, as inferior to, as separate from, as having to work, as having to earn, identifying as someone that needs to be worthy, right? Liberation, relief, joy, empowerment comes from correct identification. But I mean, now we're getting really deep on this Sunday. Correct identification. There's actually something beyond correct identification, which is just knowingness. You don't even identify. You don't see. You're not witnessing what you are. You're beingness. I mean, may that be the experience for all of us, right? That's why we're here, to move into that beingness beyond mind. So let's just dial back to the centering practice, which is what we're gathering to do every Sunday, same time, same place, indefinitely. The heart of Bless and Release, new book. The centering practice works with breath. Super basic. Breath is to inspire, to be alive, to work with life force, to regulate your nervous system, stimulates the vagal nerve, which is just keeping you calm and lit up no matter what, right? Breath. Return to breath. When all else fails, when the shit hits the fan, just return to breath. Breathe from your heart. Breathe from your heart. That's all. If hopefully millions of people are reading Bless and Release and you're gifting it and all of those things, I will die happy just knowing that we inspired millions of people. Just breathe into your heart, brother. That's it. Sisters, just breathe into your heart. That's all. That's the portal. Okay. Next thing with the centering practice, we work with light. Why do we work with light? A physiological reason and a metaphysical reason. If we look at light, it affects our brainwaves mostly in a positive way. It depends on what frequency of light you're looking at. You do not need to actually physically see light in order for it to have the same effect. A guy on Netflix show called Age of Attraction named Justice, who is my soul person. I love it, Steph. If you want to be my matchmaker, I am so ready for the lifetime love. Let's go for it. But let's get back to light. If you and I'm going to talk about this almost every Sunday. If you and I were to sit across from each other and with our intention, send light to one another, do it with our eyes closed, and we had electromagnometers hooked up to our brain, what that would show us is that our brain frequency starts to undulate in the same way. If we start to get in sync, I send you light, you send me light, we move into actual resonance. I mean, that is, talk about soulmates. That's it. Let me tell you one more thing. I can take a few more questions before we all go have some Easter eggs. There's research that shows when we do not feel in harmony with someone, it affects our cognition. So if I'm feeling disconnected to you for some reason, you've said something that's triggered me, you've said something that like I don't relate to, or I come into the connection feeling dysregulated and not sort of on top of my game or not in my heart. If I'm experiencing disharmony with you for whatever reason, could be your cologne, then I start to think in a distorted way. It starts to affect my memory. I start to get a little scrambled. Everybody's you're all aware of this experience, right? You don't feel in sync with someone. Maybe you're just a little nervous, or maybe you're triggered, or maybe they're very clearly anxious. And you start to fumble over your word. You don't quite don't know what to say. You say the wrong thing. You leave the interaction. You think, I can't believe I said that, or I can't believe, why didn't I remember to say that thing? Because you don't feel resonance. And I think that what's happening is that when we don't feel harmony, when we're in disharmony, the mind is starting to scan for ways to reconnect, because our natural state is harmony, is love, is connection. So the mind is scanning. And so all the mind energy that would normally go towards saying the right thing and emotional intimacy and intuition, it just moves into survival mode. I'm trying to connect with this person. I'm trying to survive here. I'm trying to find a way. I'm trying to find the portal or the lab portal. Yeah. So the job of all leaders, whether you're leading a conversation in a cafe or you're leading a big corporation, is to create resonance. How do we create resonance? With intention, with breath, with light, by being heart-centered. And that is the centering practice. If you want to do the centering practice, it's always free for forever. DanielleLaporte.com/bless. It's there in audio. The new Bless and Release is dropping in audio now, chapter by chapter. We are hoping 20,000 people by the middle of next month. I've got the book. It's coming. You can get it in print. It's coming in June. I'm working, the manuscript has just been filed. It's really beautiful. Okay, blessings of equinox, of fire horse, of all the colors, of all the healing frequencies. I'm so glad you're here. You know where to find me. You can definitely find me every Sunday for the indefinite future. Wherever you're finding me now, I will be here. I will always be here. Oh, thank you, Rob. For all of you who are getting the book, get into it, listen to it now, start sending us, let me know how you're loving it. Every testimonial helps us get more of the light frequencies into the world. Yeah. It's an honor to be here. Happy Easter, everybody. So much love. Okay. We are out on Instagram. All right. Signing off on all the other channels. All right. The physics of letting go and wanting what's meant for you. Love, love, love.